Hey there, Katie Freiling here, and thanks so much for stopping by here today to hang out with me for a bit. So today I'd like to teach you an NLP technique that will help you to cultivate a deeper sense of rapport with people in your life, with people that you're networking with, and ultimately have greater influence. So as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, it's so important to learn how to cultivate rapport with other people. Whether it's people on your team, or business partners, or potential clients or customers, it's a skill set that really is going to get you so far in your life and in your business. And when I talk about influence, I don't mean the kind of influence that you're, manipulating people or controlling them to do something against their will. Definitely not at all. So the influence that I'm talking about is a natural, spontaneous type of influence where once you have this rapport built, people naturally want to listen to you. People naturally want to follow along with you, and they're responsive to you. So rapport essentially means that you are in sync with somebody else, that you're on the same page, that there's a feeling of commonality or a common ground that you both stand on. So to cultivate this sense of rapport, there's actually many different things that you can do. Today I'm just going to share one technique with you that I learned about actually quite some time ago. So just to backtrack a bit, NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, and it's a very in-depth study, and it's something that I'm still new to. So I'm not an expert or anything like that, but it's something that fascinates me, that I'm interested in. So quite some time ago, one of my good friends shared this technique with me. And she shared it with me, and at that moment I felt, wow, I do this naturally. This is something that naturally occurs in my conversations, in my interactions with people, and I didn't even really consciously know that I was doing it or that it was happening. And the reason that she brought it up was because we were in such rapport with each other that we were noticing this spontaneously happen again and again and again. So what it is it's called matching and mirroring. Matching and mirroring. So when you are in rapport with somebody, this is again something that happens very spontaneously and very subconsciously. So this isn't anything that happens on the conscious level. But when somebody is feeling in rapport with you, you can notice that they will match and mirror your movements. So, for example, your body language, your gestures, your tonality, all of these different things come into play. So for my friend and I, we would notice that I would, maybe cross my leg, and she would do the same thing not too far after. Or, she would put her hands like up to her face and I would, do the same thing and kind of follow along with her, not even realizing that we were, doing this, that we were in total rapport. But it's kind of a funny thing that once you know about it, once you realize that this is what happens, you can start watching it in your life and you can see, this person is in rapport with me. Or you can even notice it in yourself. Oh, wow, I must be in rapport with this other person. So for you, if you really want to build rapport with somebody in your life, then match and mirror their movements. Now this doesn't mean that you're going to change your personality, that you're going to change who you are to just model everybody else around you. Definitely not. Stay in your own autonomy, be yourself, but you want to meet people where they are. Meet people where they are. So what that means is if you're talking with somebody that you want to build rapport with, who is, let's say, a very slow, very methodical, very left-brained type person, and you meet that person with all this creativity and spunk and this and that, that person is going to feel somewhat of a disconnect from you. So again, rapport is feeling in sync with somebody. So even if you are the creative type, it doesn't mean you have to change who you are, but just meet that person where they are. You meet them where they are by modeling their movements of maybe, coming into your own left brain conversational skills and speaking a little bit more slowly just to kind of create that common thread between you and that other person. So, it's something that when I found out about this, a while back, I also realized that I was naturally doing this when I would even talk to people over the phone. So talking to people over the phone, if I'm trying to make a sale or whatnot, I would naturally model that person. So if it was somebody that was very intense and fiery and had a lot of fire, I would meet them with fire and with intensity. If it was somebody who is, much more subdued and watery and sensitive, then I would meet them there as well. And I would ask them questions to learn more about them if it's somebody that I didn't know yet. And, doing this digging with questions helps you to see or learn more about this other person. So what I would naturally do is find some sort of common ground. So I would ask questions to find out more about the other person, but then also to find some way that we can connect. So I would find something that we have in common that I could then share with them. For example, if I'm talking to somebody and they live in Australia, I would say, oh wow, I actually took a vacation to Australia a few years ago and spent a whole month in that country. I absolutely love it, and I would talk about maybe Sydney and the things, that I saw in that city and whatnot, and there would be immediately a feeling of rapport, of responsiveness, of understanding, of feeling like you're on the same page with that other person. So that's really all rapport truly means, and it's something that you can again apply to many different areas of your life and in your business. Now again, this is not about manipulation, it's not about molding yourself to be like everybody else. It's just meeting people where they are to really create that connection, to create that responsiveness where this person is now ready to listen to you, and that's where influence starts to come into play. So I'd love to hear from you. Is this something that you've heard of before? Have you used this before? Have you been using it and didn't really know about it before? Would love to hear your feedback, your comments, your questions, anything. So, and also as well, down below you'll see a Facebook and a Twitter button. So I would love for you to share this with your friends on Twitter and Facebook or any other social sites if you got a lot of value out of this today, if you feel like it's helped you in some form or another. And I know it certainly has helped me. Once I was conscious of this whole subconscious phenomenon of matching and mirroring, I can now observe it so much more clearly in my life, and I can use it and weave it into my interactions with people to really cultivate greater influence. All right, so have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.